Yo.
Hello and welcome to the Mind Over Matter show. Young minds matter.
Yes.
We have to speak about it. So, before we even get into talking about how we work with young people, which A, we do because why wouldn't we champion young voices? B, young people trying to get help and support from mental health services right now in the UK. We all know our services are stretched. It is particularly difficult. If we had better early intervention, then I don't think there'll be as many adults in the Well, yes. Real talk. If we'd have been able to actually get the help that we needed in our teens, or even our early 20s, but at that stage, and genuinely have an avenue and an outlet to express, to be heard, to feel listened to, and we had got some decent therapy and clinical support.
Do you know what? Saying that, it amazes me that these young poets, the stuff they're coming out with, they're so connected to themselves. AJ King is a perfect example.
I knew peace like my hat was Gandhi. There was no peace, so the gat was handy. I know boys that say my J's are cold, but wouldn't give $1 to a hopeless dream.
I couldn't believe how young he was. And I was like, I feel like I'm 36, 37, I'm learning from you. Like, you're 18, or was 18 at the time.
Of all the young poets,
Crazy.
AJ King, I workshopped with him once, right? And we were doing a workshop on stereotypes of black men. And it was a really deep workshop, and he come out with this line, which was something like, I'm no gorilla, but give me your gold and I'll give you your silver back. I'm sorry. And that was in like a 6-minute free write or something, just one line. AJ King's serious young poet, Valor.
You don't like me like that. You think that you do. But I'll save you the trouble of confessing. You only like me because I represent what you're missing.
Another one that I learned from.
All the time, she's like, she's the oracle. Tanaka.
And in that moment, the train comes to a halt, and silence steps from the platform into the train, mindfully minding the gap. And it comes to me in that moment how easy it is to slip into the tracks when you don't fit the binary.
Our son. Shout out to Tanaka. We love you, son.
Haven't seen you for ages. Where are you?
Yes, you left home, traveling the world without us. You haven't even hollered us for any money, nothing.
Nothing.
A poet person.
Nothing is clean cut anymore. Your identity is being rewritten. The ones and zeros of you are different now.
Actually, a poet person we have to shout out because a poet person's been coming to Mind Over Matter.
This is balance.
Yeah.
Shout out, poet.
So supportive, yeah. So supportive. And funny. The point is we noticed that a lot of young people were coming to Mind Over Matter as well. So we've got this wonderful intergenerational platform where young people can be heard by anyone that's in the room. And I think we have a really diverse audience in terms of kind of background, age, just across the board, they're quite diverse. But we wanted to have a platform that was just for young people, that supported them, and that pretty much largely those events would be run by or hosted by young people. So we launched Young Minds Matter. Yeah, so I called you one day. I was like, do you want to do an event at City Hall? So that was another Poetry Prescribed and Mind Over Matter collab. I workshopped with, oh my gosh, do you remember those young people? I did two rounds of workshops? No, I did one round of workshops with their young Londoners who were 7 to 12 years old, maybe, like that sort of age group. They loved it. I love working with young people. I love working with everyone, but there's something about working with kind of 8, 9, 10-year-olds, especially when they're like, oh, poetry, oh no. And then next thing they're like, Miss, I've written this, and I just...
They love it. I've seen it happen. Like,
I love it.
At London Academy of Excellence, like one of the first, when we do like speeches and talks, we always say to the kids, like, you got any poetry fans in? And like maybe one hand will half go up.
And then you get like a groan, or like, oh.
Remember rap stands for rhythm and poetry, and then they get a little...
Yeah, then we get a little, who likes, that's why
who
likes rap?
It's really Yankee that brings it out in them, they just love it, like I just can't get enough of it.
If they're not interested, I tend to start with a poem, and those of you that have seen me perform know I'm quite loud, a little bit loud. So that tends to grab their attention.
Yeah.
London Academy of Excellence was a couple of 100 children in an assembly, do you remember? And we managed to get like 200 odd children to write, and all of them wrote something.
Yeah. Even if we had some of them perform, and then like one girl that didn't want to perform afterwards was like, I want to perform.
Yeah, it's like
it's so good seeing that.
It is good to see it, and I think with the City Hall event, what was special was we were able to give a platform to the young poets that have been coming and supporting Mind Over Matter. So that all the poets were 16 to 25, our feature artists. So first and foremost, we were able to give a platform to young poets that have been supporting Mind Over Matter. So we had Broken Pen, we had Poetica,
Woodsy.
yeah, and Priscilla Hernandez.
Priscilla.
First ever feature, absolutely killed it.
And then again, like the open mic with Anna Taylor's on there.
Yeah, and then as well as the open mic, I had a showcase for Poetry Prescribed. Do you remember that young man? Guys, the best performance of this whole incredible, so you have to, let me set the scene. We're at City Hall. We're on the top floor of City Hall with the most incredible setup, thanks to Priscilla and Kismet and Claire for supporting that and allowing that to happen, because without them we couldn't have. And these young people that I'd workshop with, these 7 to 12-year-olds, stole the whole show. This guy had turned his thing into a rap. He positioned all of the rest of the performers to stand where he wanted them. He absolutely tore the house down. And we didn't do much that night.
We didn't do anything. We just literally organised the event, but and we're there. But Tanaka
and Hedier.
Hedier and
Kismet.
They hosted the whole show. We didn't set foot on stage, and that's what it should be.
It was by young people, for young people. And if you go on to Mind Over Matter LDN on YouTube, you can see some of the young poets that we champion performing, because we did a Young Minds Matter online special, a digital show during lockdown, and the quality was just ridiculous.